15th of May, Rabbi Mor Parsha Hashavua with Rashi, Bechukotai. Hello, Rabbi Mor. Yechiel.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Rabbi Mor.
I can hear you.
1 second. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I can hear you.
I don't hear you. 1 second. Stick on me 1 second. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I don't hear you. Why don't I hear you?
Can you hear me, Yechiel?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay.
1 second.
So,
Speaker. No. Hello?
yes.
No. Am I not hearing?
Hedge? 348.
Can you speak?
Yes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Your phone is plugged in. Your phone, I'm not, 1 second. What's happening here? Fine, speak now.
1, 2, 3.
Now? Oh, no, that's good. Okay.
Was the earphone?
Yeah, no, it was the other thing, but I have a problem here with the connection on the speaker.
Okay, Baruch Hashem.
1 second. Okay. Right, let's go. You hear me?
Yes.
What chapter is it
I don't
now?
hear you anymore again. What happened?
What's the chapter and verse?
What happened? Try again to speak.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah. 1 second. Oh, now I hear 1 second. Now I hear you. Yechiel, can you speak?
Yes, yes.
Oh, now I hear you. Yes, I hear you. I don't hear anybody else. 1 second. Okay, let's go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Right.
Yes. It's okay now. Okay. All right.
And where's the key?
Okay. Okay. Let's go. Parshas Bechukotai.
Hi, sorry about that. I'm here now.
Yeah, no, it's very loud, actually. You hear me very loud?
No, but I can hear you okay.
I'm going to put my volume down over here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Bechukotai.
Okay. Let's see. Where are we here? Number three. Where's Parsha 3?
Chapter 20.
Here we go. Im chuchosai telechu v'es mitzvosai tishmeru.
Yeah. It's Mr. Sai Tishmaru.
Osam. So if you will walk in my statutes and you will guard my commandments and you will do them.
Okay. Now,
Rashi says, if im b'chuchosai telechu, if you will walk in my statutes, yachol zeh ki'um ha-mitzvos. I might think that this refers to the fulfillment of the mitzvah. Kishehu omer ve'es mitzvosai tishmeru, given that it says, and you will guard my commandments. Vasisem osam, and do them. Hare kiyum hamitzvos amur. Behold, the fulfillment of the mitzvos is
has already been stated.
It's been stated before. It's already been said. Ha ma ani mikayim. How then can I explain im bechukosai telechu, the phrase "if you will walk in my statutes"? Shetiyu amelim b'Torah, that you should toil in my Torah.
Now, it's interesting, you translated amelim as to toil. Okay?
Yes.
It's interesting. What is amel? What is amel? Well, is when the Torah uses the term, or Chazal use the term amelim. What does that mean? When a person learns, does he have to make a strong physical effort when he's learning?
No.
Is it required to make him a strong physical effort?
No.
I'm waiting for the answer from the floor.
I said, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Okay, Meir, what do you think?
What about Amelim?
Does that mean the person has to, when we're learning, we've got to be really physically a thing, or can we sit down? And, right, yeah, you got to like make sure the AC's off. You really have to schwitz whilst you're learning, and that's what the Torah requires.
No,
No. So what does Amelim Batera mean?
it means that you work hard.
Oh, what does that mean to work hard?
You struggle. You
What?
try. You
You put all. I'll put it better. All your required efforts you put into it.
I'd say you go above what's required.
Could even be that as well. I don't know necessarily. Now, I want to suggest you two interesting points to think of.
Very careful.
Right? Less than a month ago, right? Today's Pesach Sheni, correct?
Correct.
Less than a month ago, or tonight, a month ago, you were reading the Haggadah. So one of the psukim which we quote from Parshas Kisovoi, on which we expound to tell us the story of the Haggadah is, Vayara Hashem es onyenu ves amoleinu ves lachatzeinu. Amoleinu. Okay? How does the Baal Haggadah explain Amoleinu? So Amoleinu, says the Baal Haggadah, Eilu Abonim. That's Amoleinu. Rachosh Baruch Hu saw Amoleinu, meaning the children. Now, 1 second. When do you necessarily put all your physical effort with regard to your children?
Spanking them.
Sorry?
Spanking them.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Yes, I know we say spare the rod and spoil the child, but necessarily to these days it's called physical abuse, right? So obviously Amalena doesn't mean putting all your necessarily your physical efforts. So I heard a pshat many years ago, we were going back 35 years ago at least, from Rabbi Aryeh Finkel's a kind of bracha, and Rabbi Aryeh Finkel asked on the Etzem pshat, what is pshat in this Chazal? Chazal said, chukais, I would have normally assumed that means the mitzvahs, keeping the mitzvahs, because there's certain mitzvahs which are called chukais. So it's chukas HaTorah, Hara Aduma, and other chukas olam, there's other things, shatness is considered a chayk, and there's other mitzvahs, things which we don't understand. It is not readily understandable. Okay? So those are called chukim. So Rashi says, no, the Chayai might have been referring to that. Says Rashi, no, that can't be pshat, because the next words are, Ves mitzvosai tishmoru. That means calls all the mitzvahs. You should guard, keep, observe my mitzvahs. So what's in Bechukotai telechu? Whoops, out of the blue, shetu amelim batu. Why does Bechukotai telechu refer, and where is it written in the words? Where is it understood in the words? In Bechukotai telechu, shetu amelim batu. So says Rabbi Aryeh Finkel, a Moedik Pshat. What Bechukotai telechu, besides the mitzvahs of the Torah, which some of them are called chukos, there's something else which is called chukos, which we find in the Novi. It says, Im lo brisi yomam v'layla chukos shomayim va'aretz lo samti. Chukos shomayim va'aretz, which means the statutes of heaven and earth. What's that referring to? The chayra, it means the laws of nature. that the fact that the sun rises every morning and sets every evening, and the stars move in the sky, and the different planets and constellations all move according to a certain orbit, all the laws of nature, things grow when there's a certain amount of sun and when it's rain and everything, the tremendous Chochmah b'Kodesh Baruch Hu, these are all called Chukos Shomayim Ba'aretz. The Pasuk's telling us, Im lo brisi, if not for my covenant, which Chazal explained, that means referring to the Torah, if not for my covenant, Yomam v'layla, that it keeps going. Now my covenant is going, keeps going, Yomam v'layla, Chukos Shomayim Ba'aretz lo samti. I would have not instituted, was it literally placed, the statutes of Shomayim Ba'aretz. What does that mean? Torah keeps the world going. Torah makes the world go round, as they say. Okay? Now, in fact, Chazal say, at any given moment, there is no Torah being learned in the world, Chas v'sholom, world would cease to exist. Every time, that's one of actually, we all think, we discovered America, and America's got populated, and this is a tremendous achievement of mankind, whatever we think about it. Anyway, it was interesting. Till the 17th century, let's call it, when into America, maybe I don't know when Yidden were there, the Jewish world was pretty much concentrated in Europe and North Africa, maybe as well, a little bit in what you call Mesopotamia, what do they call it? Iran, Iraq, Persia, that area. But apart from that, there was no, Jews didn't inhabit the rest of the world. Now, was at the time, in those days, Torah was being learned in various places, even in the European, shall we say, area, Euro-Russian area, right? That Torah was being learned 24 hours a day. So therefore, that kept the world going. However, nowadays, when people have become, even physically, shall we say, certainly dedication in general, our dedication to the Torah has become weaker, maybe because we've become physically weaker, or certainly our willpower is weaker. Mela, Kodesh Baruch Hu had to spread Jews all over the world, that Torah could be learned all over the world, without relying on Europe, or wherever the concentration of Yidden were. Upon him, Torah has to be learned 24 hours a day. So he gave a mashal, Barry Fink gave a mashal. Just imagine a guy who's sitting in the control tower in JFK. Don't know how often planes land there. It's probably every few seconds, it's another plane. Anyway, I believe actually they only give them stints of 2 hours at a time, because a person, they can't constantly, guys there in the control tower cannot concentrate, should we say, having to be on the ball, full concentration for more than 2 hours at a time. But anyway, let that be. What happens to the guys there? He had a hard night. He's very tired. He's sitting on his stint. He says, "Oh, come on. I'll take a couple of minutes break now. And yeah, the planes will sort themselves out. Okay. What's going to happen? I don't want to dread to think what would happen." What's that means? Because a person's in a situation of responsibility, and he knows that it's relying on him, right? When the guys that control traffic control in the control tower, all the airplane traffic coming into landing and taking off and everything is relying on him. Whoever's the other, it could be crew, whatever, the staff there in the control tower, they're relying on them. The person can't take. Now, similarly, if a person realizes, Im Bechukotai telechu, if a person realizes his Torah is what's keeping the world going, then his approach to his learning is not just lackadaisical. It means I have a responsibility. My learning is keeping the world going, so therefore I have a responsibility. So therefore I have to learn in such a way that I have to learn, shall we say, responsibly, in a way that I've got to have full concentration, non-stop. That's where Chazal say, if you realize that your learning is keeping the world going, so how would a person learn in such a way? He'll be full concentration, absolute full concentration. That's Omer HaTorah. It may need a certain amount of physical effort as well. But that Amelus B'Torah means giving it your full, it's totally, fully occupying your mind, that you're giving full concentration to your learning. That's Amelim B'Torah. Okay, you don't have to have any physical exercise necessarily when doing so. You can do. If it helps the person concentrate, all the better. But what we're referring to, Amelim B'Torah, means total, full absorption in one's learning. That's Amelim B'Torah. Now, 1 second. How does that go back to the Seder night? Why are Amolim referring to our children? Because consciously or subconsciously, we are constantly thinking about children. I'm just trying to think of a good example how that will show up. I'll give an example. Maybe it's not a good example, but it's something idea. You're at home and your little kid downstairs has gone out to play. Okay? Gone out to play. All of a sudden, after a few minutes, you suddenly hear screecher brakes. What's your first reaction? I hope that's not my kid. Right? Now, why was it? Because your mind is on your kid. You may not even realize it yourself. Your mind is on your kids. Therefore, when you hear something which chas v'sholom could mean construe something bad, your first reaction is, oh, I hope that's not my kid there. That is an indication that your mind is constantly thinking about your children. No, maybe not necessarily intentionally, but certainly subconsciously, a person's mind is constantly on his children. Okay? But anyway, what the Torah is telling you over here, the Bechukotai tells you, Amelim B'Torah means don't just learn Torah in a lackadaisical way, in between cups of coffee. Your learning has to be, you have to learn, if you want to go, they say drink responsibly, right? Here we learn responsibly. Learn with the fact that your person has a responsibility upon him, that his Torah not just means something, it's essential to the world's existence. When a person learns in such a way, his level of concentration and application to what he's learning is far, far superior than otherwise. That's the attitude of a person. That should be Amelim B'Torah. Should be learning with full concentration and application. Okay? Okay. Let's continue. Es mitzvosai tishmeru. Yeah.
Mitzvosai tishmeru.
Right. Es mitzvosai tishmeru.
You will guard my commandments. Heyu amelim b'Torah. It will be.
No, or be, no, this is actually an imperative. Be
Be
Toiling in Torah. I'll use the word toiling, but it means what we explained it.
I'm going to say immersed. Be immersed in Torah.
That's a good word. Be immersed in Torah.
Almanas lishmor ulekayim. On condition that you will guard and fulfill the commandments, is implied.
Right. Means don't just learn as a abstract academic exercise. It's going to be learning with the idea to put the learning into, to apply it practically.
Kamo shene'amar ulemadtem osam ushmartem la'asosam. As it is stated, and you will learn them and you will guard them to do them.
Actually, shmir, you would actually would maybe use the word observe. Okay, it means you be careful to keep them, to carry them out. So Torah says, learn what you're supposed to do, which mitzvahs you're supposed to do. Ushmartam, be careful, to carry them out. Okay. Let's go on to the next pasuk. Pasuk Dalet, Meah.
Okay. Dalet. Let's see. V'natati gishmechem b'itam, v'natna ha'aretz yivula, v'etz hasadeh yitain pirio. Okay, so I will give you your rains in its time, I guess, in their time.
Their time.
Okay. And the land will produce, not produce, will give, I guess, produce.
Yevula means it's yield. It's
okay, yield, what it produces, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And the tree of the field will give its fruit.
Right.
Okay, so Rashi. Be'itam, in their time. B'sha'ah she'ein derech b'nei adam latzeit. Let's see, so at the hour when
time, this time used in this sense.
B'sha'ah is also at time, okay, at its time. When it's not the way of people to go outside. Oh, kigon.
Stay home.
Stay home. It says kigon b'leilei Shabbatot. So, for example, Erev Shabbos, Shabbos night.
Friday night.
Friday night.
Leil Shabbos.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I have a gift over here, B'leilei Reviyos. You also have that as well?
B'leilei, no.
No, you don't have that. Just have B'leilei Shabbosos.
Right. That's
You also
all I see.
both of you using the art scroll.
No, I have the same thing Meir has, but I'm not using the art scroll. I'm using this thing, the Pentateuch.
Are you also using that?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm using. That is Art Scroll, isn't it?
No,
I don't think so.
it's long before art
Oh,
scroll.
mine says, yours is different than mine.
What edition are you using, Mayor?
This says it's
Show me. Saperstein edition? No.
the Saperstein edition
Okay.
with Rashi, Al
You're using
Torah.
an art scroll. You all, Mayor, using an art scroll. And,
Yeah, this is art
using
scroll.
a different one.
As the
Swag, you know?
Jewish Publication Society, Philadelphia.
Oh,
Who's the one who
JPS.
did the translation? Does it say at the beginning?
What?
Who is the one who did the translation?
Rabbi Abraham ben Isaiah and Rabbi Benjamin Sharfman.
Oh, Schaffman. That's the Schaffman edition. Okay. Anyway, Now I have a gears over here reading that says also Leah Revius, which means Tuesday nights. Now I'll tell you what that's based on. Leah Shabbos, anyway, people don't travel because it's Shabbos.
Right.
Okay? But the Gemara says as well that originally mazikin were prevalent every night, all nights of the week, anytime. Chazal limited their powers and let them their powers to 2 nights in the week, Leil Revi and Leil Shabbos. Okay, and therefore that's why people do not go out on those nights because they're worried about the mazikin. And therefore, that's when Akash Baruch Hu sends the rain. People are not out not out anyway. So therefore, that's the optimum time when Akash Baruch Hu brings rain. The person is not this causes people the least disturbance and discomfort. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why we don't have that, but okay. So it goes on. The Eitz Hasadeh and the tree of the field, Hein Ilanei Sirak, the Atidin La'asot Perot. Okay, so they are trees. What Sirak that are empty?
And yeah, well, it means non-fruit bearing trees.
Oh, non-fruit bearing trees. But in the future, they will produce fruit.
Was when, in other words, where we reach an idyllic situation of everybody keeping the Torah in its proper way, and all the mitzvahs as well. And this is what we're referring to. Everybody is doing exactly what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants them to do, and keeping the Torah, learning properly, keeping the mitzvahs, and for doing what's mitzvah tishma is referring to the negative commandments. Be careful not to transgress the negative commandments, and them doing the positive commandments as well. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu would send tremendous bracha, and the, shall we say, creation, nature will be in an idyllic situation. That things, even what heretofore have not been phenomenon which have not been heretofore existent, things will change for the better. So as he's saying, for instance, Ilone Strat, which is certain trees, which I think what does the word deciduous mean? Does it mean that those that have leaves? Anyway, because they're right now they're not fruit bearing. In the future, they will produce fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. By the way, also one of the Mefarshim says as well, if you remember, go back to Chumash Bereshis, Sefer Bereshis, Parshas Bereshis. On the third day,
Annually.
Sorry?
Deciduous means it sheds its leaves annually.
So that's not apropos here. Okay, that's not the point. Anyway. As opposed to coniferous, which means they do not keep the thing on the whole time. I think so. Anyway.
That sounds right.
Right. Anyway, Kosh Baruch Hu told the land, okay, produce eitz peri, oiser peri, tree, wood, or literally, trees of fruit that produce fruit. The Kosh Baruch Hu originally told the land, I want you to produce trees of fruit that produce fruit. So Chazal explained that to mean that not just the fruit will have the flavor of the fruit, but the tree itself, the wood, the bark, the wood of the tree will also have the flavor of the fruit. However, the land did not do that. Okay, that's a big, major philosophical discussion. How could that be? That the land did not listen to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The land doesn't really have a choice, doesn't have a kercha bechira. Okay, I'm not going to it now. That's a major discussion. But suffice it to say, the Maisa, that's what happened. In the end, that the land produced fruit, that tremendous fruit, beautiful fruit, but not this aspect that the tree itself had the same flavor as the fruit, did not happen. However, here it says, Eitz hasodeh yitain piryoy. The wood of the field, which means the trees of the field, but it means the actual wood will now become fruitful. That's what Rashi refers to Elon Israk, but it also, the other Mefarshim means the what originally was supposed to be at the time of creation, that the actual wood of the trees had the flavor of the fruit and could also be edible. So that's what will be in the future as well. Okay, let's do Pasuk Hey. Oh, well, so we'd have to do 1:30 now. Okay, I think we'll stop here, and Bez Hashem, tomorrow we'll pick up here Pasuk Hey.
Okay,
Okay.
very good.
Very good. Have a great day, everybody.
You too, Rabbi.
Be well. Kol Tov.